Happy New Year, everyone. We're going to talk about Cordillera today. And if you own real estate in Cordillera, 2025 probably felt a little different. And today, I want to show you why that feeling is backed with real data. Now, I'm Jeffrey Cloonan. I work with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, and I've specialized in Cordillera real estate for many years now. And I want to walk you through a clear and simple kind of comparison of what happened in 2024 versus 2025. And why it matters if you're thinking about buying or selling going forward. So we all know Cordillera is a really unique market. It's not just driven by volume alone. It's driven by all the beautiful amenities and the confidence and the timing and even long-term ownership decisions. So year over year, changes here are especially interesting. So let's look at the numbers. In 2024, Cordillera saw 27 closed sales. And in 2025, that number jumped up to 39 closed sales. And that's awesome because that is a 44% increase in transactions. Now, this is important because in luxury markets, increased sales activity usually means buyers are no longer sitting on the sideline. They're not on the fence anymore. It tells us that confidence has returned. Not just from one or two buyers, but across the market. And when we talk about dollar volume, in 2024, roughly $105 million worth of real estate traded hands in Cordillera. And in 2025, that number jumped to $153 million. Totally awesome. That's nearly $50 million more in closed volume in a single year. So not only did more homes sell, significantly more money moved through the market. And so talking about days on market, that's one of the clearest indicators of a healthy market. How quickly homes are selling. And in 2024, the average days on market was around 72. And in 2025, that number dropped to 34. That means that homes are selling in about half the time in 2025. This tells us buyers were making decisions faster and well-positioned homes were being absorbed more efficiently. Now, I want to address a statistic that often gets misunderstood in the mountain luxury markets, and that is the scary price per square foot. Yes, in 2025, we did see a small number of premier homes, new construction that traded above $1,000 a square foot. But those sales were the exception. They weren't the average of what Cordillera does, the Cordillera experience. And communities like Cordillera, price per square foot can be heavily skewed by just a few high-end trades. And that doesn't always reflect what the typical home is worth. What matters here is that pricing remained stable, even as sales activities and dollar volume increased. The combination, well, higher activity without broadband inflation is actually a sign of a healthier and more balanced market, right? So what made 2025 stronger? It wasn't speculation. It was better alignment between sellers and buyers. Homes that were priced correctly, presented well, and positioned strategically were the ones that sold. And you know what? Often kind of quick. So buyers became more decisive, and sellers who adapted to the market were rewarded with what? With successful sales. So if you're a Cordillera homeowner and you're thinking of selling, the takeaway isn't that prices exploded, right? It means that there's opportunity, but only if your home is positioned properly. Today's buyers are educated and they're patient and they're selective. The difference between selling and sitting on the market because you're overpriced comes down to specific strategy. So if you'd like a personalized look at how your specific home fits in today's Cordillera market, I'm happy to walk you through it. And look, I'm not pushy. There's no pressure. All I'm trying to provide is clarity. Okay? So I appreciate you watching this. If you like what you see, please subscribe and And you can hear all about my updates for Cordillera. And again, remember, price per square foot in Cordillera varies widely based on location and view and improvement and age. So if you like a specific home analysis, feel free to reach out. Again, Jeffrey Cloonan with Berkshire Hathaway. My telephone number, 970-445-8388, and I'd love to connect. I hope you have a wonderful 2026, and hopefully we'll get to connect. Thanks.